Prepping for a shoot tomorrow. This is my new home base, our new house in San Antonio, Texas. This will be my first shoot working here as a local. However, I have worked here before, but it's been many years. My last shoot was back in 2013. I was working on a documentary and we interviewed the mayor of San Antonio, Mayor Castro. It was about the new preschool program. It was like a preschool for all, I think, like public preschool. Conducted interviews with many public figures. That one was unique. It was actually the mayor's birthday. He sat in his office at his desk and ate a slice of birthday cake while I set up my gear. And we chatted about a photo shoot that he had just had with his brother. And the photographer was Annie Leibovitz. And he had the photo framed, he and his brother and his mom, in his office. Our shoot tomorrow is essentially a live feed from multiple cities, via Zoom, but we're also doing a record at each site. And production sent out this flow chart. Been doing a lot of these Zoom feeds, but this one's got a couple of unique pieces. One, we got to do an IFB to the talent. I purchased a low-cost IFB on Amazon. I think because just all this COVID stuff, I'm not even going to open the package, and we'll just treat it as a one-use and throw away. And then I got two 6-foot headphone extensions, so the idea is we'll come off the Zoom laptop into that IFB for talent. And then the camera feeds into Zoom via capture device. And then here's the new piece for me. I haven't done this yet, but they want a ProRes recorder that's recording the Zoom session. There are slides or graphics incorporated into this. I think it's more about getting the slides full screen. So I think after we're done with the session, we'll do a second record on the ProRes recorder and just toggle through the slides. There's a confidence return for the talent so they can see the other participants. So looking at this from the point of view of the talent, got a teleprompter as our return monitor through the lens. Up to this point, I've used this Blackmagic Ultra Studio Mini to send SDI or HDMI input over to Thunderbolt, and then this feeds my MacBook. This thing's worked great, except doesn't work with FaceTime. Every other video app I've used, Skype, RingCentral, Google, and Zoom, works no problem as an external input. The bigger issue with this is it requires drivers. And so I've got my MacBook with the drivers installed, so it's been no issue there. The logistics and security concerns for our shoot tomorrow, we're using the talent's computer. So I need something that doesn't have drivers that'll just show up as a webcam. So I picked up this HDMI to USB video capture box, no drivers, plug and play. I tested it on a Windows computer. Picture came right up. The audio routing was a little bit of a nightmare. I had to go in a control panel and toggle several settings, a couple reboots, a couple restarts of Zoom. Got it all sorted, but I'm a little stressed tomorrow that could turn into a big burn of time getting the audio routing sorted. My backup plan, if that doesn't work, is I'll just use the laptop's microphone because I know I can get picture. And quite often too, there's a delay or a feedback issue. It's like the noise canceling mechanism in the Zoom session doesn't know how to handle an external mic input as well as the built-in mic. So just for latency and that weird noise canceling oddities, may have to just use the internal mic anyway for simplicity. I got this HDMI box. Now I want to send SDI out of the camera because I don't know how long of a run I'm going to end up doing from camera. So I've got BNC coming out of the camera via SDI into a Blackmagic converter, SDI to HDMI, and then that goes into the capture card, USB into a hub because I've got the new USB-C Thunderbolt connectors on my MacBook. Now this hub is also feeding power to the Mac and accessories, and then the HDMI out from the Mac runs through this hub, and that runs over to the Blackmagic recorder. Okay, first issue I ran into with the Blackmagic recorder is it is plug and play. It's synced and came up, and I've got mirror display enabled. And originally I went with the defaults optimized for the Blackmagic Design HDMI, which is all correct, except it defaults to 1080p. And while that's not a problem, obviously for the recorder, it is a problem for my teleprompter. My teleprompter monitor, which is over HDMI, it doesn't like 1080p 60. It just displays black. So it needs a standard ATSC television signal. So either 1280 720 60p or 1920 1080i, but not 1080p 60. I went through several HDMI cables because I was getting, not the blue screen, like this blue screen's when you unplug it. It would go black, so I knew it was sending signal, I just didn't like it. And it took me quite a while, but eventually I figured out I had to switch from 1080p to 1080i. Now the issue with HDMI is any connection in the signal path causes the laptop to spaz and change out the dual display mode. And it also, because I'm going through the hub, it interrupts the video capture card, interrupting the camera signal that's feeding the Zoom call, which causes the Zoom session to pause. And I actually had the call end a couple of times. So I'm nervous that any bump in a cable, or if we want to change a physical connection once the call's established, I could screw up the call. So anyway, just got to be careful of that. And this is also why I prefer to run SDI whenever possible. I hate HDMI. It's burned me so many times. All right, so out of extreme paranoia here, I'm gonna label every connector on each end and what it was plugged into, because I know this system works. I don't want to risk the wrong cable going to the wrong place and even that causing some kind of disruption. I'll get this all set up tomorrow and I'll see if I can document a little bit of our actual setup. I've got a crew of 2 and I've got an hour and a half to load in and set up. I have full confidence I can get our backdrop and lighting and audio and camera, the usual production stuff built in the hour, and I think it'll take a half an hour to load in and get through security. This live feed thing is either gonna be 5 minutes and we're up, or it's gonna be an hour plus of high stress. But we'll see. On to tomorrow. All right, we are on location, all set up. Lights are off, cameras off, saving batteries. Just waiting on Talent and Talent's PC for the Zoom connection. So we wiped down the table and cables for compliance reasons. I've got my ProRes recorder, and then this is the camera feed converted to HDMI to the webcam converter box to go into the PC over USB. The HDMI output of the PC feeds the ProRes recorder. The loop-through output on the ProRes recorder into the teleprompter. Cameras on battery, spare camera battery right here. And I've got a cart full of additional bricks. Trying to minimize the things that run on AC for cable management, as well as time savings and safety. Oh, and I forgot the most important item. Get the new battery topping off my iPhone.